So last year when I was working on my thesis and scanning in and transcribing all of my great-grandfather's letters in Vmails from Sicily and Italy back to the United States, there was this really interesting gap when he was in Anzio, when they were at the beachfront in Anzio. They were stuck there from January till May when they finally broke out. But there was this really interesting gap in about March, April, where he wasn't sending much. Now, my great-grandfather was prolific, and I do mean prolific. He would write 10-page letters. Who does that even anymore? No one. No one does that anymore. It's a lost art, and it's really sad, but I'm meandering off onto, let's get back to Vmails and my point. Well, come to find out that we had found, we had misplaced, I say we, my mother and I, probably in one of our cleaning, we had placed this shoebox that was full of my great-grandfather's Vmails somewhere where we didn't know it was. And so when I went to go work on my thesis last year, I worked with what we had because I thought that's all we had. Turns out that wasn't it. We found the shoebox recently, and so I'm going through it, and Lord have mercy, yeah, there's no gap. There really is absolutely no gap whatsoever. He was continuing to write. He was just using a lot of Vmails, and the Vmails had ended up categorized in a previous attempt at this project years back. But this is the stack of Vmails for March that I'm going through right now and reading to try and fill in some of the blanks in his history and in the gaps in my paper. But there are days here where we have multiple Vmails a day. This is March 3rd. There's two, both to my great-grandmother, you know, and it's, so I get to go and time travel once again, go back to 1944 and the Anzio beachhead, and we'll see what I find. I absolutely love finding new things out. I also found this. This actually is from my great uncle, my great grandmother's brother, sent home to my grandmother, and this was the Vmail that was designed for them to send home for Easter of that year. The military would create these form card-like Vmails for the soldiers to send home, and they would look like that. I have a number of them. I think the artwork is always really cool. The really cool ones for me personally are always the ones done by Bill Malden. He's the topic of a whole other video. Bill Malden is one of my favorite historical characters in just terms of his work and what he produced. My great-grandfather liked to occasionally draw on things too. You see there, he drew a can of food with my great-grandmother's name on it. And he did this, actually, I'm seeing here, he did this. This is actual size. This is some more engraving on it, but I am not allowed to put it in a letter. I'm gonna guess he engraved a date or a place, something like that. You know, he was always very censored, not self-centered. That came out very wrong. He was always pretty censored in what he would write home. He was very conscientious of that, and you know, I get it. You know, having previous military intelligence experience myself, sometimes you just can't say anything, and it's tough to be the person on the other side who can't know anything. But it's really tough being that person that you have to watch what you say and you have to watch what you write home. And they were really strict about that, and my great-grandfather took it very seriously. But that's today's ramble down the time travel lane. Have a great day.